Hi, my name is John Yuen, Director of Product Marketing at Blue Coat. And today we'll be talking about how to extend your web security solution using traditional appliances, virtual appliances, and cloud solutions. One of the things that we want to talk about on the evolving threat landscape is that we're tracking over 1,500 malnets today. So malware delivery network is source of majority of the malware on the internet today. And just to give you some scale of how the malnets are growing, 2 years ago, we were tracking about 500 malware delivery network, and today we're tracking over 1,500. And you'll notice that 2/3 of all attacks in 2012 originated from these malnets. And when you talk about mobile devices, we identify 8 malnets targeting specifically for mobile devices. So these are our sources of malware targeting mobile application and mobile devices. And then when you look at web application, you'll be surprised to know that every 2 minutes there is some sort of an attack happening on web application. So these could be any applications that you use on your smartphone, tablets, or even through a web browser. Average user of a mobile device has about 41 mobile apps on their iPhone, Android, tablets, and other devices. So that increases the amount of possible attack to that device significantly. If you look at a typical hybrid web security deployments today, what you'll notice is a proxy SG or a traditional appliance located at the network operations center, followed by a similar appliance at the field office. What you'll notice is that with the release of virtual appliances, you can actually deploy virtual appliances with the same capability on other field offices, and then also secure other offices with cloud solutions. Now, of course, as you go toward remote users and mobile users, they can connect to the cloud and be secured through cloud security solutions. So let's talk a little bit about specific initiatives. The diagram that you saw before is a very high level at best. So if you look at a trusted Wi-Fi solution, for example, you notice that there is a need for logical or virtual separation between one network and another. What's the best way to do that? You want to leverage the existing infrastructure and use the same solution to secure both networks. What about if you want physical separation between different networks and you want that air gap between the solutions? You can, of course, deploy a traditional appliance along with the one that you have, but you have the option of deploying a virtual solution as well as a cloud solution that provide an air gap between those two networks. And of course, with the cloud, you don't have a physical footprint on premise at all. For the BYOD scenario, let's look at the base and campus access. So when we talk about base or campus access, we're talking about the device connected to the network through a Wi-Fi that's available on the base. Right? You want logical separation from internal networks so that you have a network dedicated to BYOD and an internal network that's separated, has separate security policies and security analytics. Now, what's important here is that the concept of app control. You want to be able to control which applications you can use securely and what are the acceptable use policies that can be applied to these type of devices. Now, if you look at BYOD 24/7 protection, that means that you really need to focus on the type of connections that a particular mobile device is connected. So in this case, 4G or 3G through the cellular network, as well as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections. So now you're talking about a situation where you have an untrusted device connected to an untrusted network, and hence the need to secure all type of connections. Now, there is a lot of expansion going on, but with IT consolidation at the same time. So it's expanding the footprint, but of course at the same time saving costs as well. If you look at Gartner and their tests, their work that they've done in the past few years, if you look at a scenario of about 25 to 50 staff to an IT support, those are agencies that are competing at cutting edge innovation. Now, if you look at a bigger staff to IT ratio, so about 60 to 100 to a single IT, we're talking about agencies who compete on full service and overall value. So for agencies competing on thin cost margin and scalability, we're talking about a staff to IT ratio of about 125, 200, or even more. Now, how does that translate to different kind of solutions that you would apply? So traditional appliances with its highest performance scales really well for agency competing at cutting edge innovation. And then for a larger ratio of a 60 or 100 staff to a particular IT, we're talking about virtual appliances where they can focus more on the application rather than the hardware. And then of course on the cloud solution, we're talking about a solution that doesn't have an on-premise footprint and the management can be done remotely. So all the solution that we talked about from Blue Code is powered by Web Pulse. So what that means is that all the consistent web security analytics as well as all the policies are consistent across all Blue Code solutions.